Hey there, welcome to the video. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about what really has happened in my life and where my portfolios really are. And it's a subject that makes people very angry for some reason. And I don't know why people would get upset about income coming in, but some people do. I'm just going to share with you a mindset, and share with you a portfolio. Okay. This is my actual portfolio, my actual Schwab. Okay, I'm just sharing it with you as it is. Now, what's interesting about this is that my income, my monthly income is rising every month. Well, you can see January, February went up, March it went up, May is huge, but what happened to April? Well, April didn't fail with the dividends that came in, didn't drop off a cliff. April was just a weird calendar alignment, meaning I didn't get the full amount of payments. I didn't get 4 full weeks of actual dividends. So it got delayed into May. So even though April went down a little bit, I knew that money was coming and I knew May would be big. I didn't know May would be that big. May was a monster. You can see it's right at $4,500 a month now. Not one time, not a great trade, not a new indicator, not a special options play. It's just income coming in. I pressed a button and income's coming in. Now, will it go down? Probably not. This income is only going to go up. Why? Because I keep reinvesting. I don't need this money yet, and I want to get it to a level that makes me very comfortable and happy. So this is going to keep rising, probably, right? And happy to show you. You can feel free to laugh at me if it doesn't. But this is at an all-time high. And that's the reason for this video, right? Because I like that. Now, I've been trading since 2004. I've told that story various places. And a while ago, a year-ish ago, I just started being beaten in my head with this idea, with this thought, this conscience calling. Whoever this voice was kept asking me, what if I've been doing it wrong all this time? What if trying to become a trader, which I love, and trading in general, what if that's all wrong? What if I've been doing it wrong? And what if, the voice said, my goal was actual money, not unusable paper profits? Because it seems to me that the trading community loves paper profits. They love looking at my account. Well, if you hold it for 82.6 years, look at what it might become. If you just hold it, buy and hold it. If you're sitting on an index fund account or something of that nature and you're looking at, hey, I made 10% last year. Did you? Where's that money? Right? Secondarily, if you are trading and you book that trade, okay, now you have money. Where's the next one coming from? That's my question. What if your next trade's a loser? What if your next trade's a loser, right? So either it's a paper profit that I can't spend, or it's a trading profit where I don't know where my next check is coming from, okay? But I digress for a moment. Let's pretend that I stopped seeking out trading, that I didn't spend 5,000 to 7,000 hours studying trading systems. It's probably more than that. I spent 2,500 hours on a single trading system. So how many hours have I spent on trading since 2004? Right? But I don't regret it. But what if instead I did something else? What if I only cared about income? How much money would I have coming in right now doing nothing, not even lifting a finger or reading a trading magazine, Stocks and Commodities, right? For example. Well, if I bought SCHD, pays quarterly, boring, doesn't pay that much. I mean, more than most things, 4 or 5%. Does go up over time, right? It does go up just about the same as the market if you reinvest, all right? Sometimes it beats the market, sometimes it doesn't. Usually lags by a percentage point or two, but it goes up. Your principal goes up, especially if you reinvest. If I had done this instead of to study trading systems, for example, look at where I'd be sitting right now. In a hypothetical $10,000 account, we're over $1,000, right, in income, right? That's over a 10% yield. 10% of my money. And wow, look at this. It grows every year. So what's going to happen the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? I'm going to have more money, actual money. Money shows up in my account. You can then click transfer and it's in your bank account. And now you can go buy some gumballs. Does anybody buy gumballs anymore? All right. So probably you have so many questions. So I'll try to answer a few of them. What size account is that 4.5 thousand, my 4,500? 100K. So far, I only have about 100K in my accounts at Schwab. I have more on the sidelines ready to go. I'm still working, so I have more money to put in every month. But right now, it's at 100K. All right. Not that much, but that's fine. That's over a 40% yield, right? I mean, it's not 2% yield, which is a great dividend stock according to the fuddy-duddy dividend people, right? Which I have no problem with, but I mean, there's a new world out there. Let's talk about everything, not just the 1.5% dividend payers. That's a 40% yield, okay? If I make $4,500 a month, right? That's, well, let's call it $4,000 a month. Times 12, that's 48,000, right? So we're sitting right around between that 40 and 50% yield, right? Just saying. I mean, as of right now, of course, this was my biggest month. But I'd like that to be higher in all of my accounts. But so far, that's a pretty good yield. How many accounts do I have? 3. Well, that's a lie. I have 4 now. I literally just opened last week an account that only invests in 100% yield companies. Is that stupid? We can talk about that some other time. We'll find out. But real money is put in that account. Okay, but here's the question. What's the total return? What does it matter if I made $4,500 a month last month or $4,500 last month? What's the total return? Because it's about money, Scott. Don't call me by my first name. What's the total return? Well, I don't care. How about that? And I told you we'd have a mindset shift as we talked about my other videos. I don't care what my total return is. I care about money. Total return doesn't mean jack crap to me. Jack crap, he's a good guy. Now let's talk about that for a second, because of course you care about total return. That's the only thing that matters, right? Total return is kind of a myth when you look at it a certain way. Not overall. Not overall. Total return is a real thing, I guess, in some cases. But thinking about that it might be a myth has really messed with my mind, because it's what we're trained not to do. But let's say you're an index fund, which is what everybody says we should do. And I've been saying that since day one, since I started talking publicly. All right. What's the total return of SPY from August 2024 to January 2025? Okay. This is a total return. It's all that matters. Why do we care about total return? Because when we retire, which we shouldn't retire, that's another subject. But when we retire, we have the most money. Okay. Great. August to January, that's +9. So I look down at my account and I have the most money, the most. I have 9%. I haven't spent anything. How do I spend that? I'm looking at it. How do I spend it? I don't have anything in my pocket, but my account says +9. Yes, total return. It's the only thing that matters. Now, from January 2025 to April 2025, now my total return is -14%. Right? You can see that right over here. Wait a second. That's my total return. I have 14% less money. Well, that's not great, right? So which is it? Am I up 8% or am I down 14%? Wait, I look at it and I look at my account and it's changing every second. How much money do I really have? Well, I have none of it in my pocket, but it has different readings when I look at the screen. Okay, well, let's go with all of it. August to April. August 24 to April 2025, -8. Neat. That's my total return. The SPY has right? I'm going to have gotten a few pennies coming in of actual cash, right? So I can buy half a gumball with those pennies. So it didn't really give me income. And my total return is -8. I don't even know what to do with that. How do I have my total return is changing? How do I deal with that? How do you pay the mortgage with that? How do I spend -8% should I go through one of those stretches? Frankly, how do I spend +9? I didn't do anything. Nothing actually happened. Answer me. How do I spend paper profits? How do you spend those? I'll wait. Right? We can talk about and lecture about and be sanctimonious about total return. We can do that all day long. But how do we spend a temporary, because it changes, digital number on our brokerage account? How do you spend that? How does that change anyone's life unless you sell it? And if you sold it at minus 14, how's that spending going? Okay. Now, just a mindset. How do we spend the $4,500 that actually went into my account that I saw with my own eyeballs that I could transfer with a click of a button? I think it's pretty easy to spend, right? We can do that on anything, right? We're working on our house, maybe paint the deck. Hey, let's pay for that with dividend money. I don't have to sell shares. I don't have to do anything. It came in by itself. Now, here's the question. You may have heard this before, but it's worth repeating. If you don't have money coming in, without actual money coming in, why don't people tell us this? Without money coming in, we have sequence risk. You know what it is. It is the number one problem. If you don't know about it, yikes. If you do know about it, how come financial advisors and smart people on YouTube and the internet are not talking about sequence risk? Remember the 4% rule? Well, it should be 5, it should be 3, it should be... Stop it. I don't care. But look at this, right? And I know it's an extreme example, but it's a real example. $1 million we saved up in 2000. It just came off one of the biggest bull runs from 1995 to 2000 in human history. We had $1 million saved up. That's a lot of money back in 2000. And here we go. In 2000, the SPY lost money of paper profits, right? Well, wait. That stinks. That total return stinks because I still have to pull out now. Paper profits need to become real profits, right? I can't just hold it forever. It's time to go, right? So I'm still pulling out my 40 grand, but I lost money. So now I'm end of year. I am down. My 1 million is down. Well, in 2001, it lost again, as you know. I'm still pulling out 40 grand, and now I'm down to that. And in 2002 was even worse. Our third straight year of total return getting slammed in the face. Starting balance, I still pulled out 40. Now I'm down to $539,000 in 3 years. 1 million nest egg is nearly cut in half. We only pulled out 120, and we have half our money. Neato. No money comes in. It all just goes out. And if the SPY goes down and nobody gave us money, it's real trouble time, right? Now, I'm going to use J&J, Johnson & Johnson. I don't know if I'll ever buy J&J the rest of my life, right? It kind of makes me angry because it's touted so strongly and it pays so little. But to go back to 2000 to actually get data, I had to find an old stock, and this was a famous one, so I went back. It actually has data back in 2000. So that's why I picked it. It's got a minuscule dividend, but, and people love this, and I agree, it's got great dividend growth, which is awesome. So even though they pay out a paltry, pitiful amount, it will get bigger each year. So if you are in it for the long term, they're going to pay you a little bit starting, then a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and that gets fun. So let's talk about it. In the year 2000, J&J, right, there's our little yield on cost. You can see our yield is pitiful to start, but it's getting higher each year, right? Okay, well, we got 19,000 of income. We still need 40. So yes, right? We had to sell a few shares, right? Not ideal. I just wanted to show you something. But the J&J actually went up, right? Because people switched into safety stocks. 2001, same thing. Our yield went up. We got more income, so that paid more of our withdrawal amount. Yes, we had a small sell of shares, but J&J went up again. Woohoo, right? Change in value, portfolio value change, including all this stuff, right? In 2002, 40 still went out, but our dividends paid us more, so we had to pull less out, and J&J actually did poorly. But bottom line is, dividend income has grown quite a bit, and it's dramatically outperformed. Why? Because cash, real cash came in. Now, let's extrapolate that out. Again, J&J is not what I'd recommend. It's not what I'm doing. But if you took that in 2000 and decided you were going to retire through 2008, look at what's happened with an income stock. Look, 1 million's turned into 1.5, assuming reinvestment. Annualized return of 4.8%. It's gone up. Remember 2008? It's the worst time since the Great Depression. Remember 2000, 2002? one of the worst times since the Great Depression. Through both of those horrific times, an income stock went up every year on average. Oh, look at the S&P. It didn't get better. On average, it lost 3% per year. Down, down, down. I went for total return. I went for growth. I didn't go for income. And I'm just getting hammered. Real life. This is what really would have happened to someone in this circumstance, right? It's crazy. And look at this. Again, not my favorite example, but J&J starting in 2000. By 2008, we've cleared the 40,000 barrier. If we need that 40 grand a year, we're done now. We're over that. We did nothing but reinvest what they paid us, right? Now, if we took it out, right, this is reinvested. If we took it out, then this would have slowed down. I get it, right? I'm just showing you a graph. It would take a little longer, but the point is you will get there. At some point, the dividends will get high enough, and then you don't need to sell shares. You don't need to do anything ever, which is pretty cool. And that's real money, right? Now, if we took SPY, and this is the end of our sequencing risk, 1 million is now down to 357,000. We're pulling money out. It's not, oh, look, we had some winning years and it didn't matter because 2008 killed us. But look at all these winning years and we didn't even go anywhere because one losing year sends us down. 357,000 by the end pulling out. We had 1 million. Oh my gosh. But going for growth and total return, SPY is down to 357,000 and we are in a death spiral. Neat. Neato, I'd say. But going for income with a feeble dividend stock, I don't like J&J. It doesn't pay enough. We have more money and a yearly income salary forever. Now, would it be by 2008? Might be later than that, but you get the point. Thought-provoking, right? Okay. But isn't my personal current overall return down during to yields? Like, isn't my principal down? Yes and no. If you look on my Schwab, it would say I'm down. But no, not really. I'm not really down at all. Here is an example of my highest yielding portfolio, right? This is the highest one, the one I started first. It's a little bit smaller, but I started with way high yields. And here's the comparison. If you invested dividends, my tiny little account that started with Coney, 14%, SPY, 15% since I started it. So, no. It's been, and you can tell, or you can see, it beats the market handily for a while. We had a little problem in March and April, as you know, and look, it's climbing. Oh, it's been above it, and it looks like it's going to pass it up again. So it looks like on the screen that I'm down, but the total amount of money, real money coming in that I can use is actually doing just fine. Okay. So if you don't need the money, think about this. You can just do a high yield investment and you can match or probably beat the market. If you wanted to do that, which I'm not doing that. But if you do reinvest for a while, what happens at the end? And I say it all the time. Now we have a chance to take some of that income or all that income or whatever we want to do, a piece of that income. Income that can actually be spent at the end of this time, right? It allows us to live without selling shares. And if we sell shares, we are selling the lifeblood of our financial freedom. If we don't have shares, we can't get that growth that people love so dearly. There's no growth if we have no shares, right? So if we're selling shares, we're always saying, oh, are we ever going to run out? Are we going to sequence? Are we going to go down to 357K, right? If income comes in, we don't have to sell the very thing that's giving us our freedom. All right, bottom line, I'm very, very sad that I came to this realization late, but the honest truth is, even though options trading has been around a long time, these products are all just brand new, only a year or two old. So I didn't really have the option of this before, so just be happy to be in the present, and I am. But our, meaning me and my wife's plans are very clear. We have a very easy plan. When we get to this income, we're going to do this. When we get to this income level, we're going to do this. Okay. And when we get there, then you can really talk about some serious changes or adding on or buying whatever or not buying whatever, okay? Furthermore, and this is, I think, a huge point that people don't get. You say, okay, you're going to do high yield. Oh, your principal's going down. Your NAV is eroding, right? Even though the total amount of money is going up. But the NAV is eroding. Well, once you get enough income, you can stop eroding. All you have to do is buy the SPY if you want to. Buy QQQ. Buy Apple. Well, how do I pay for that? The dividends pay for it. So if you want to then grow your NAV in the old-fashioned way, in the old-fashioned terms, if you want to grow that, then do so. We have the income now. If you do it the reverse, how do I get income from SPY? How? How do I get income from 1% yield? How do I get $15,000 a month? Okay, we'll do it the other way. Let's get $15,000 a month and then we can buy SPY. We end up in the same place. And all we have to do is have our principal stay steady because it's the income that matters. But the bottom line, you can always buy growth later, after you already have the money. Now, it's not for everyone. I get it. But it's important. And I feel like I should share it. And I fully realize that some people find comfort in intangible paper profits. It just feels better. I want to look at my account and see it green, even though it means nothing and it can all go away tomorrow, right? I get that. I like it too. Not as much as I used to, and I don't like it that much. But I like green days, even though it doesn't matter. Everybody does. But the big question is this high yield, high income dividend style worth the investigation? Is it worth the time? Absolutely. I'll be tracking this and many other portfolios in the DIP program. If you want to join or if you want to just ask me questions, feel free. And I'll be back next time with more. Bye for now.